What's up, y'all? It's Limitless Insight. We back with another episode. We drop episodes every single Thursday. This episode, we got 2 guests, so definitely stay tuned for that. If y'all didn't watch the last episode, click the link right up here. It's gonna show up here right in your right-hand corner. Definitely check that out. We got some good stuff coming for y'all, so definitely stay tuned. Limitless Insight. We gone.
What's going on, man? Limitless Insight. This is episode number 3. We got 2 big guests here, Mr. and Mrs. CSU. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, say what's going on. Go ahead.
Hey guys, it's your girl Tani Dorset. I am Miss CSU. I am a business owner of 2 businesses and a social media influencer.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm Keith Harris Jr., 15th Mr. Central State University and student trustee here at the university. I am the youngest minority business owner in the state of Ohio, being Brown Demolition. Shout out to the main owner, Darren Brown.
Y'all already know it's your boy Dushawn. I'm back with another episode.
Yes, sir.
So let's get right into it, man. Mr. and Mrs. CSU. What does that mean?
Well, for me, being Miss CSU means that I have lots of responsibility. I'm challenged to work with difficult characters. I am challenged to be innovative and creative. And in a nutshell, it's a character builder. I'm not gonna lie to you. Having to work with diverse characters, having to do trips and things like that really pushes me beyond my comfort zone and makes me all the better a person.
Okay.
To be Mr. Central State to me, it's a visual representation of what it truly means to embody being a male marauder, a pillar of your community on and off campus. I hold myself to a higher standard. Why? Because, we're not just average individuals outside of our positions. I'm a black king, and I want to display that to my younger black kings, which is why I'm here today, supporting and just doing the best that I can to give whatever game that I can so they can be successful in their endeavors.
Definitely. We appreciate both of y'all being here. I know it's being Mr. and Mrs. CSU is time consuming, so we appreciate y'all taking that time out of your day to be here. Y'all just came from an event, What was that about?
We came from separate places, but I came from the Dean's List Assembly where I made Dean's List. Whoop, whoop.
Okay.
Well, 8 times. 7 times in a row. Anyway, continuing on, what else did I do today? Just, meetings and Miss CSU stuff.
I'm about to say, I know it'd be real busy for y'all.
Yeah, it is.
Getting y'all here today. It was a little bit of a struggle, but we always want to get it done.
Yeah. If y'all don't know, man, we were supposed to be here. Well, I know I was supposed to be here last week.
Yeah,
couldn't
guys,
do it. Had to
keep it
reschedule
late.
some things. I do get pretty busy with my double duties at the university. However, still have to make time for the things that you care about. So I am here today. And the meeting that I just came from, that's what you asked?
Yeah,
I just came from a honors college as well. I had a day.
Shout out to Honors College.
Shout out to my boy Slag, man. He gets it done every time. So I just came from that honors reception as well.
Okay. So if y'all could talk about what does being CSU, Mr. and Mrs. CSU mean for other people? Like, what example are you setting, and did you see yourself being here when you first got to college?
Okay, I guess I'll start. No, I didn't see myself being Miss CSU. I didn't see myself doing the pageantry thing. No, I wanted to stay in the box. And so now that I am Miss CSU, and even in my junior year, looking up to Miss CSU, I thought to myself, if I were to ever be in that position, I would want people to look at me and say, hey, I can talk to this person. I can be open with them. I can learn something from them. Later on in the future, maybe she might be in a position to help me. And I want to show people hey, it's okay to network. It's okay to talk to people. You could be open with whatever, because why? I care. If no one cares, I care. So that's what I want to emulate to people, that I care.
I feel like that's what some people need. A lot of students, they probably feel like their voice is not being heard. And I feel like y'all are our way of getting our voices heard.
Definitely. I feel like y'all are that bridge in between. I know last year as a freshman, it was a Mr. CSU. He did a lot of good stuff. He had the Man Up Mondays at the Man Up Mondays. He had a business event at the Student Center that was huge. But I feel like y'all, maybe because I know y'all for a year, but y'all are that bridge of connection, and you're out in the community, y'all talking to people and everything like that. So that's huge, just as from an outside perspective, knowing that you guys are doing something, things like that. Danny, when you first introduced yourself, you said you had 2 businesses.
Yes.
And I know you have a business, but can you speak on that and college? How's that helped you out, and how you started that?
Okay, yeah, definitely. So I started my first business about 2 years ago.
Go ahead, shout your business out too.
Oh,
so
it's
we can
called
get it
Chabot
down.
by Donnie. I do locks on campus. But I started 2 years ago. Honestly, didn't see myself starting, but I had a community here at Central State and they pushed me to do it. So I started, and Central State has been the home for that business. And my second one is what I started a year ago called The Real Blessed Beauties, where I sell lashes and other beauty products. And also that came from the community pushing me. So that's what I found here at Central, and that's why it's helped my business to bloom.
Okay.
You could talk a little bit about training.
Yeah, for sure. Before I get to that though, I did want to piggyback off what you said about you having a connection with us and things
With the
like that.
community,
And that's
right.
something I've been trying to do my 4 years of being here, being the first male marauder to hold every position on the court. It's just tremendous. That's something that I wanted to do outside of everything else, is just having a connection with any and every student I can come in contact with. Obviously, I had a connection with you guys because I was a Pirate Ambassador. You guys were exposed to me first.
Early.
I was early, so
Yeah.
that's definitely something I wanted to breed. Definitely shout out to the previous Mr. Central State Universities, 13th, 14th. I am the 15th, but something that I have to be hands on with is having a connection with y'all. I don't want to leave and y'all feel like y'all don't even know me, haven't had a conversation with me, which is why I'm so open to speaking to whomever I come into the room with, because I'm real big on that, real big on connections. You never know who you talking to, and I'm forever stand on that. But in terms of my company, my aspirations, I do want to open up a private security firm located in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm not from Cincinnati, but my company, Brown Demolition, is located in Cincinnati, Ohio. We focus on interior demolition for the major corporations. So, for example, Five Guys, T-Mobile, a couple AT&Ts here and there, and some more things coming along the way, but I can't really speak on those things. Without my business partner being here,
Gotta do what you gotta
he is
do.
the super backbone of this company. I'm just I'm just here. So
Yeah, definitely. So, can you talk about how you started? Because a lot of businesses, we had a couple people on, and they started a business in college, and it's been a brand as of like shirts, hoodies, merch, stuff like that. And then you have a different one with clothing, clothing with hair and with beauty. How did you start yours? Because you don't really have an audience to sell to. Like, it's not gonna be a college student who needs demolition. So how did you get into that?
So, actually, my business partner, who's actually my twin, Darren Brown, say his name again. We have the same birthday, November 15th. And when I came into college, he already had it established. He was just kind of missing the other half of his brain, I would say, and I tend to refer myself as that. So, once that got rolling and once he had that support system, then he's a genius, man.
Hey,
You
we
guys
get it
have to
running.
meet him. He's a genius.
Definitely.
What did it take for y'all to get to like where y'all are now? Because I know like doing them pageants and becoming that Mr. and Miss CSU, it's not for the weak. And I know like y'all have a lot of responsibilities, and people on campus, they look at y'all differently. So like, what did it take for y'all to get to where y'all are now?
That's a good question. So let's first things first put the pageantry on the side, because outside of the pageantry, I'm a whole other person, right? And I think one of the main things that got me to where I'm at is God. Like, I always talk about God and everything that I do. Like, I have him as the head of my life. And when you pray to God about something and you ask him to create that pathway, you don't have to really worry about nothing. So that's kind of how it was for me. But as for like worldly attributes, it would definitely be time management, staying focused, building connections, making sure that you network with people. Remembering that you don't have to do it all today. You have time to do it tomorrow. And so once you build up that mindset, you build up a system, you're already on that path to success.
Very true.
Yeah, as far for me, I came into college, like I said, all of this stuff is foreign to me. Pageantry, royalty, all of that things. I don't come from a good background, I would say, in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. So growing up kind of recklessly in that environment, you come here and you'll say royalty or you'll say Mr. anything, and they'll literally look at me like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So coming into a different environment, that's something I wanted to to build on, because I was doing things in my community back home. My school district did rename the most prestigious award that you can get as a scholar athlete in my name, Keith Harris
Okay,
Award.
that's huge. That's huge right there.
I'm
Yeah, that's
really
huge.
big on in my life not being complacent. I never want to get comfortable with, which is what my platform is, becoming comfortable being uncomfortable, because I couldn't just come to college and just be like, okay, my name is out there. I'm good now. No, I'm not good. I'm in a different environment. I don't know these people out here. So you always have to make a name for yourself, especially if you want to make change, and that's something that I wanted to do. So coming here and going back to your question about how did I get here, it's just it's all mentality. It's all mental. You definitely have to be disciplined for the things that you care about, you're passionate about. And I'm passionate about making a change. I'm passionate about making connections and being there for people that I know will be there for me. So
For sure.
you got to work hard for this stuff in the background. I do a lot of practicing and stuff, my public speaking. That's not really something that I like to do. For the people who know me, I know I'm pretty quiet. I'm pretty reserved. I don't really go out that much. But when I do, I mean, it's a good time. It's good vibes always. But
For sure.
I don't have a problem with public speaking. It's just I'm more reserved. I don't like to examine the scene.
Yeah. You touched on a little bit about where you're from. Before I get to that, I want to ask about the time management. As being Mr. and Mrs. CSU, you always have at least somebody asking where you are, where you have to be at, a schedule where you have to be at. But then on top of that, you also have your majors. So how do y'all time manage that, and what tips could you give out? What advice could you give out to people who say, oh yeah, I want to be Mr. CSU, I want to be Mrs. CSU, but I can't have that time. I don't have the time for that.
Right, yeah, that's a good question. So first things first, I attended a workshop one time ago when I went to DC, and it's all about knowing how to say no, right? But knowing when to say yes. So as Miss CSU, we have scheduled events, which means that they should already have a plan of schedule. I'm gonna ask for that so that I could add that to my personal schedule.
Yeah.
And then whoever comes and says, hey, I need you to be here, like how you guys asked us to come out, I have you on my schedule. It's all about putting things in beforehand, preventing yourself from missing those events or forgetting that they're gonna come up.
Okay.
Put it in your schedule, put it on your phone, save it as your lock screen. That's what I do. But yeah, time management is a skill. You just have to keep practicing. I don't say practice makes perfect. I say practice makes permanent, and I believe that.
You gotta say that. You gotta say that one more time for us.
Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that as well. And in terms of handling all of my responsibilities on top of schoolwork, don't get me wrong. I love my positions. I love everything, but books will always come first.
Got to. That's in every category.
These 4.0s cannot get themselves, and that's something I pride myself on, because that's something that makes my mother proud. So I have to, my degree comes first outside of any responsibilities that I have. I'm just good at doing it, so I'm able to withhold multiple responsibilities and things like that.
Definitely.
Time management and discipline is going to take you tremendously far. I can't stress that
That's
enough.
facts. Like, sorry, as Keith was
Yeah,
saying,
add on, go ahead.
academics is up here. I know they say experience is up here too, but academics, because I wouldn't be in college. Like, I'm on a full 4-year scholarship. Haven't paid a dime out of my pocket, okay? And academics is what got me here. Getting that GPA, meeting those requirements, and managing my time got me here. And I'm still here. I'm about to be gone tomorrow, but I'm still here.
The books got me out the trenches. I'm just keep it just flat out.
Let's tap into that a little bit. Y'all can both say where y'all from, and then talk about how you came from where you were to where you are now, because y'all both have some good background stories. So talk on that.
Okay, yeah, so that's touchy. I'm from the Bahamas, if you guys didn't already know. And I attended public school for majority of my life. I've never been to a private school, never been to any of those private preparatory schools. No, I've been in public school this whole time. And so my journey to college, let's see. I just stayed in my books. I stayed out of trouble. I wasn't one of those people that partied in high school. While nothing is wrong with partying, that's just not what I was focused on. Like, when you have a bigger goal, you have to sacrifice that time. And so that's kind of what I did to get myself here. My mom is a single mom. I have another little brother. And so everything I'm doing right now is basically for them. Like
Your motivation.
Right. They're my motivation. People say, "Oh, I'm about to move my mom out the hood." That's me. I'm about to move my mom out the hood. That's how I think all the time. So yeah, that's how I got to where I'm at. That scholarship and dedication.
Yeah, those sacrifices, they have to be made. Like, you're not gonna be able to get everything that you want, but like once you make the right sacrifices, like some stuff is more important than others. So those sacrifices, they have to be made whether you like it or not.
Yeah, facts.
Definitely. Keith, you want to
Absolutely.
speak on you?
For me, myself, I definitely was raised by a single parent household. Shout out to me and Sam's. That's what I do it for. So I stayed with her and my older sister. And just seeing my older sister take care of her business, it made me want to take care of mine as well. So as an adolescent, I had to be the man in the house at 8 years old. So I didn't really have a childhood. I had to,
Grow
that's why
fast.
people always ask me why I'm always so serious. That's all I know is being serious. I got to take care of this business to make sure the people that I care about is in a better position they was yesterday. So I always had that mentality, and that's what I'm going to keep. And it's been working up until this point. Like, even in high school or middle school, my district, like, I done seen, I can count on all 10 of my fingers. I done lost 10 to 11 people that I went to high school with due to violence, due to overdose, suicide. Like, stuff is real. Mental health is real out here. It's another reason why I always preach that, you know what I'm saying, especially in the black community. But just seeing that and knowing that is why I try to steer away from, you know, traveling back there until I'm all the way back to where I need to be to put my people in a better position.
Definitely.
So,
And even when you go home, you got to make sure you know what you're doing, you know who you're around at home. Not even just being Mr. CSU, just being as a black man.
For sure. I'm not myself when I go home. Don't even address me as Mr. Central State when I go home, because I have to put a different mindset, a different mode on for survival. And most people was raised off of love. And don't get me wrong, I definitely was loved in my household, but I was more so raised off survival. We had to fend for ourselves. So
Yeah, that's tough, man. Growing up where y'all came from, was college a must? Where y'all from?
I wouldn't say college is a must. I'm a first generation college student.
First generation student. Okay.
So, yeah. My mom always talked about college. She was like, I want you to go to college. I want you to be better than I was, be better than your dad was. My daddy didn't even graduate high school. So, yeah, it's kind of a must, but she wasn't forcing me. Like, she let me do what I want to do, but still remind me, like, hey, this is the better route to take.
First generation. So how did you feel moving that far away from home? Have you been that far away from home prior to coming to school?
I've been far away from home, but not necessarily to stay for a very long time. So how did it feel? It was nerve-wracking, bro. You know what it is to move to a whole other country?
Yeah, I don't personally know, but I know that's a huge change.
I'm like, what, 1,000+ miles away from home? I had to enter survival mode my freshman year for sure, because it's like I'm on campus in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere. And so what am I gonna do? Like, I had to lock in and just focus on my books. I didn't really party my freshman year. Sophomore year is when I did a whole lot of partying. But my freshman year, I was locked in, just trying to focus, trying to make sure that I make it to the next semester, because I didn't get this 4-year scholarship off air, okay?
Definitely. Keith, what about you? Was college a must, or was it a goal, or you feel me? What was it?
So like I mentioned, in high school, I did exceptionally well. I've never had anything lower than a 4.0, even despite my circumstances. 3 sport athlete all year round, all 4 years.
12, so a 12 sport athlete all in total? Okay.
All around. So with that being said, I never had the goals or aspirations to necessarily take the sports and stuff seriously. Again, it was just a stepping stone so I can get to the next step that I need to be. My mother definitely was very heavily in the mindset of you're gonna be productive or you're gonna get out of my house for real. So I had no choice but to abide by what she said or be homeless. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I have to seeds wasn't tolerated in my house. Like, so I just never brought those home. So with me building on that and me having that mentality as an adolescent, as being young, it just followed me through middle school, it followed me through high school, and it's followed me through college, and which is why I'm excelling the way I'm excelling now. So with that being said, college was, I'm not going to say it was a must, because like I said, you don't need to, there's a lot of millionaires and billionaires who don't even have a degree attached to them. I know personal felons back home who's millionaires and having a great life for themselves, great families and everything, but it's definitely my stepping stone so I can build a different pathway from what I was exposed to in my environment. Okay. So that's my outlet.
That's facts.
What were like some struggles for y'all? Not even just in college, but like, you know, growing up and like you said, you were first generation college, so I know that was rough on you. But like, what were some struggles for y'all?
For me personally, like I said, my environment wasn't the best. So temptation is, very, very heavy.
It's right there
around the time.
knocking, too.
It's right there. So
Yeah.
when you're dealing with one being black, that's something I was born with being black, police, drugs, fast money. So it's a lot of temptation back at home.
It's right
So
there, too. It's knocking.
it's at my fingertips. So it's
Yeah.
like I have a lot of decisions to make, and I'm not necessarily gonna speak on all those decisions, but
Yeah.
like. It's definitely a brain racking when you have things to lose, which makes you, like, as I'm getting older, the more you have to lose, the better decisions you'll make.
Yeah.
Like, everybody doesn't have the best days. I'm very irritated most days because of my schedule or
Yeah.
just personal life. We're not perfect,
Hell yeah.
but I can't just snap on the first guy or the first woman who comes at me wrong or directly. Why? Because that's gonna alter my position. That's gonna
Yeah.
alter what I have going on for myself. So it's just something like being in that environment. And being in a better environment and trying to do better for yourself, it kind of pushes you to a different mindset and a different space in a sense where like you gotta lock in.
Yeah, you speaking, man. I'm hearing all of it, bro. That switch of mentality and just having to have that weight on your shoulders of one bad decision. We don't get multiple different chances. That one bad decision,
This color skin we got.
Exactly, we don't.
you in the car with one person and they got something. You feel me? That could your whole thing could be done.
But again, like those are risks that I took. Like those
Yeah.
are risks that I was comfortable with being. And I'm comfortable in those situations because
Yeah.
I've been in those situations. I'm not scared. I'm not fearful at all. But it's just as I'm consciously doing better things in my life, I have to, every
gotta
time
wait.
I go to the crib,
Yeah.
I can't post up. I can't go on that ride with you every time. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's like it's different stuff that I can do. I'm still gonna be there for my guys. My
Definitely.
brothers for sure, but it's different stuff. I gotta move a little differently now. I got stuff attached to my name.
What about you, Dan?
Yeah, so things that I found difficult just in life is dealing with people. Like, there's some diverse characters out there, and so that can be difficult sometimes, honestly, because when you're trying to make amends and they don't want to make amends, what do you do, right? Another thing is, I'm not the richest person in the world, but back then, like, I can't say we all, I know about hard times. So hard times used to be knocking at my door, and I used to open the door. Another thing is mental health. I wasn't always as mentally stable as I am now. Not that I was unstable, but it's like when you're constantly surrounding yourself with people that don't make your life any better, that can be very detrimental to your psychological. And so that's something that I struggled with for a while, like keeping the wrong people around me. So I had to change the people around me if I couldn't change the people around me. Follow what I'm trying to say? So yeah, I think those three are like the difficult things I've been through.
Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely understand that because, especially in college, you gotta watch who you surround yourself with. If you don't surround yourself with people who want it as bad as you, you're not gonna get nowhere.
No.
Because that bad influence, that bad influence and that peer pressure is gonna get to you real quick.
Yep, it's like a seed. Whatever you sow, you shall reap.
Yeah.
Speaking on college, what opportunities has Mr. and Mrs. CSU brought to you, and then what opportunities have you just had in college that the regular person wouldn't get?
Okay, yeah, great question. So being able to network with a whole bunch of alumni and sponsors of the university, like people that sponsor things that you wouldn't even know that we get sponsorship from. So that's a great opportunity.
So you work hand in hand with them?
Yeah, basically, in a way.
Nice.
And also being able to travel, as the face of the university, Keith and I have the opportunity to travel to different states and networking, representing the university.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have y'all traveled yet?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we recently just traveled to our first game. I believe that was the classic.
Okay,
We did
okay.
pull off the W. Shout out to the
Shout out to the
shout out
guys.
to the football team. Man.
Yeah,
Y'all did
shout out
y'all
to the
thing.
guys.
Definitely shout out to all of those people that I mentioned for coming out. Shout out to the whole Central State University. But that was definitely that was ours as a collective. First time traveling. I am a student trustee, so I have had to travel for things like that as well. So I'm usually on double duty. I was on double duty down there as well, so it's kind of difficult to be in there for my queens and trying to be there for the court and do things on that aspect and stuff like
Definitely.
that. But hey, I do it.
Somebody
Got to do it. Man.
somebody gotta do it.
Somebody has to do it. So
You say student trustee. I know I sat in one of those meetings. You got a word, you got a say on what goes on. You speak on that student trustee, how you got that, and what is that?
So essentially, I was appointed by the governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine. I was recommended by someone at the university to fulfill that position. It is a 2-year term, so I'll be done in spring 2023. But it's a tremendous opportunity to just network and just to be in the same room as the president. You sit next to the vice president, the provost, and just hearing their opinions on the university that I walk every day. So I actually was just talking to one of the underclassmen, one of the freshmen, about this. So in my opinion, we're having these roles, especially collectively, I'm just speak collectively on student trustee and as Mr. Central State University. It's a great bridge for myself to play devil's advocate and be on both sides of the spectrum, because
Definitely.
I get to see, I'm living in with my peers, I'm living in the certain situations and the things that we struggle with, you know what I'm saying, just being students on campus.
Definitely.
However, I'm also seeing on the faculty and the administration side of what they're dealing with and their struggles, and they're trying to push for us to get better facilities, push for us to get better parking lots, better, structures for the university. So it's definitely a bridge and a gap that I like to be on, because I get to be that direct voice from the students. Like I literally told them anything that I hear from the students, that's something I always regurgitate to
Get a voice.
to the administration. I have to. I feel like that's my duty. So I don't want to just be here, just be in the face for anything. So I definitely try my best to portray that.
Definitely.
Yep, actions speak louder than words.
All right, so Mr. and Mrs. CSU, what advice do you have to give? You got a platform. What advice would you give out to we'll do the two-part, somebody who wants to get into your spot, and then just for those who are at the school right now?
Okay, so you spoke on platform, and I didn't tell you guys my platform, which is we are not our adversities, but rather the champions we've become because of them. And so the advice I'm going to give you is remind yourself daily that you can accomplish anything. It don't matter where you came from, don't matter where you're going, it don't matter what you did in the past. You can do anything. Everyone can have a clean slate. You just have to forgive yourself. And another thing is put yourself out there. No one is going to come to you. No one owes you an opportunity. Never walk into a room believing that it's going to just be handed to you. I don't care who you know. I don't care if you're Mr. CSU or Miss CSU. It's not just handed to you. You got to put that work in for sure. A lot of people get confused thinking that it's about clout and it's about popularity. It's about hard work and smart work at that. So be very smart in the decisions that you make.
Behind the scenes, they see it.
Absolutely. For myself, I was a bit rebellious. So over my 4 years, you were supposed to change your platform. Each year you ran, but I was a bit rebellious, and I stayed on my platform because that's something that I will forever and always apply and preach to the rest of the world. Like, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the only way you're going to get that job you want. That's the only way you're going to be comfortable speaking in front of crowds. That's the only way you're going to be successful in what you want to do, because in your own environment, and this is why, and this is a little off topic, but it's going to come back to the same. People who are in their hometowns struggle with being successful because they're in an environment that they're comfortable in. You can't grow somewhere. It's just too much distraction at home.
Yeah, you can't grow in a box.
It's like you at the crib, you on the couch, that's just the feeling that you get. So with that being said, I have to keep that platform forever and always, because that's what I abide by. I'm not the best public speaker, but I do exceptionally well with doing so, because I'm not afraid to fail. I've spoken in front of crowds plenty of times and messed up plenty of times, but it's not noticeable. Why? Because I'm confident in what I'm saying. I'm human at the end of the day. So going back to that question, it's just you have to be you just, I don't know, man. It's just something that inside you just have to feel like I have to self-reflect. I have to look in the mirror every day and say, I know I didn't do the best at that. Like, that's something I'm gonna work on tomorrow. I know what I struggle with. I could have said this. That conversation I had with Daniela could have been better. I could have said this. I could have said that. And that's something that I do at the end of my days. And just having meetings with professionals and meetings with administration, or just talking to my peers, like, what could I have told them differently? What could I have said better? Even if the conversation went well or anything of that nature, it's like, what could I have done better? So it's definitely about self-reflection every day. I'm never the type to judge, because I'm not perfect. I'm never the type to down talk or anybody. Like, you have to be receptive of what any and everyone says. I'll listen to a homeless man if he has information. Why? Because one, I'll understand how to not be homeless, or two, I'll understand how did he get in that predicament. It's for real. You can learn from whatever anybody says, whether it's negative or it's positive. You have to be receptive for that.
I feel you, especially on the hometown thing, because like I'm from Chicago and it's not the best environment at all. And like, I mean, people from Chicago, they know. So me coming in here, I was like, yeah, I definitely don't want to stay home because I don't want to be in that environment. And I'm definitely like, when I get the chance, I'm definitely gonna move and go to a better environment because I don't want to keep myself in that. And when I do choose to start a family, like that's not the best. That's not the best environment to start a family.
Yeah, man.
It's not the best environment to be in. You always want to put yourself in a better environment. The people you love in a better environment.
Definitely is.
And that kind of hurts at times because it's like you have so much love for your hometown. It's like, why does it have to be this way? You know, but you can't. You just gotta
I'm
take
knowing,
a different
bro.
path, man.
I'm gonna be starting a family in Baltimore. Shout out 410. I love my city. We starting a family there, but Mr. and Mrs. CSU, Danielle, Keith, I appreciate y'all for coming out. Limitless Insight. We had Mr. and Mrs. CSU on here. New episodes coming every week. Appreciate y'all for coming out, man. Thank y'all.
Make sure y'all tap in, man. Like this is something I definitely
it's
I'm
a good
tremendously
show.
proud of my guys here and how I've texted him multiple
Proud of my
occasions,
kings.
telling him how proud I am of him, and just even outside of the podcast and you as well. Y'all definitely trying to make a name for yourselves, and I'm always gonna support that 100%. So
I'm saying though,
definitely
like,
tap in, man. Every Thursday.
Think about the fact that they're not, out here pulling guns. They're out here
All right, man.
Limitless-
Educated black men,
giving you
honor
limitless
students, man.
insight.
Limitless
Come on,
insight,
it don't get
man.
no better than this. I'm telling y'all. So proud of y'all.
Every Thursday, man, we coming to you.
Tap
Appreciate
in.
y'all.